Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm going to be doing some pocket scrapbooking or project lifing, and I am starting by just trimming down my photos. I do print my photos at home using my Epson PictureMate 400, and I just trim them down here with this Fiskars trimmer. This is from Creating Close to My Heart, I'm sorry. And today I'm going to be using some photo flip pockets, which are by Simple Stories, this from their Snap collection. I'm using the 4x6 flaps, which open sideways instead of flapping up. I kind of wish it flapped up because I'm using it for this donut, these two donut photos, and where the box flips up, it would be cool if the photo pocket would flip up. I'm sure you could rig something up, but I'm actually going to end up changing how I do that anyhow, so it's not all that relevant. I also have a few pieces of ephemera here that are beyond the photos that I printed up this month. These are just things that I was hanging on to include, and a couple of scraps and that sort of thing. I also have these exciting cards to work with. I haven't had any Project Life kits for a while, and I was starting to feel like digging through my old cards was getting cumbersome, and I didn't like that so many cards had things printed on them like phrases and words and stuff. So I learned how to design my own cards. That's what I've been teaching myself to do for the past couple of weeks. So these are cards that I designed myself and printed them up. I actually only printed them up on my at-home printer. I did send them off to Staples Copy and Print Center to print them on actual good paper and good quality. This is not a photo printer even. It's just like a household office color inkjet printer. Not very expensive at all, but it actually turned out really well considering. And I did design these two cards to go one on top of the other if I wanted to do that. And all of the little circles and spaces for journaling are all made the way with my own scrapbooking style in mind. So I'm hoping that scrapbooking will become a little bit more simple or easy for Project Life using these cards. So I pulled out some of my scrapbooking supplies from the last time I did Project Life, which was about 2 weeks ago. That was my early and late January spreads. And I had some of that Million June collection left over, which I used on those pages. So I have some of those, and they do tend to go pretty well with these cards. I didn't really think about that when I was designing them, but it turns out that they work really well with my leftovers, so that is good. And I just changed my angle here so that you could see how I'm setting up my page. And I'm trying to figure out where I might put this flippity flap. And you can only put it in certain places because of the way that the sticker attaches to what's around it. And you can put it on the binding, like on the edge where the holes go. You just have to re-punch the hole where the sticker covers it up. And, you know, I wish it flipped up, but it turns out I'm not going to use this in the way that I thought I was. In fact, I make a very last minute switch. It's not even in the video, but it is in the photos at the end. So I'll point that out at the end. You'll see what I changed there. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, because basically the last time I did Project Life, I ended on a half of a page, which means I now have a half a page to fill, and I don't like ending on a half a page. So I definitely don't want to do one page right here today. I need to do 3 pages. So what I have to spread across 3 12 by 12 Project Life spreads. So here's the first one. This is the page that's going to go next to the last page that I did, which was entitled Late January. So if you didn't see that video, check it out. It's on my channel. Actually, I haven't fully processed it yet. It should be on my channel by the time you're seeing this anyways. So before I put this together, I'm just going to do some outlining. These are some of those leftovers from the last time I did Project Life. So this is from the Million June collection, that little pre-cut 3x4 piece, and I just added a pre-cut little pink mat to it. I just cut it down. It was also pre-cut to 3x4. I did all that the last time I scrapbooked, so that would be in my previous videos. And now I'm just going to trim this down. It was cut to a little bit more than 3 inches wide. So I just needed to trim that down. And this giant circle in the middle of the card has always been one of my very favorite Project Life cards. And so I really just wanted all of my cards to have this circle on it because it makes it so easy. You can put a photo in the middle. I print my photos, my small photos that don't go in 4x6 pockets. I print them all at 2x3. So to have a little bit above and a little bit below, to have room for a title and a little bit of captioning, it's just perfect for me. This is exactly what I need my cards to be like. So I'm very happy about this. Now this is a picture of my desk surface here with my computer and my laptop and my iPad and my notebook and everything all pulled out because I was taking a class on how to use Affinity Designer, which is what I designed the card with that I'm scrapbooking on right now. So this is very meta. So I'm just using these Studio Calico tiny, tiny little letter stickers to spell out Affinity. And I think I was thinking about using different letter stickers for the word designer, but I'm changing my mind. It didn't look right. I thought I might have misspelled it, but I didn't. So now I'm going to spell out designer with the same letter stickers. I really like this yellow. It does show up in that floral pattern that is here, but it's also in a few other places on the other page. And then I wasn't sure if the word designer was going to fit in that space. As I look at it now, it's very clear that it's definitely going to fit. But for some reason, I thought it wasn't. So I started working backwards. And I'm going to end up with this little gap. And as I mentioned in my last Project Life video, when I'm using those tiny little letter stickers, I just press into them on my finger to release the little center parts, and then the center part sticks to my finger and I pull the letter off, leaving behind the little center. That's how I get rid of the little centers on those stickers. It's very annoying. It's the worst part of using those stickers. They're so cute, but they're such a headache. So in handwriting below, I'm just writing, I'm learning something new, and then I underlined it. I am drawing a fire truck. It's a very long course. I spent hours and hours and hours taking this course, and I was so proud of myself. And then I saw the progress little wheel at the top, and I'm only a quarter of the way done. So I've got a lot more to do. So now I thought that this striped card, because it has so much blue, it has the dark blue and the light blue in it, I thought it would be a good card to use when I'm talking about an ice storm. I'm also going to use these blue letter stickers, which pick up quite nicely on the blue in the pattern, in the stripey pattern. I like those wonky stripes. It's one of my favorite things. It's the great thing about designing your own cards, is that you can put all your own favorite things in them. So I'm just going to spell out ice storm. And at first I was thinking I'd put ice above the storm, but then it became clear that ice would fit. I don't have great visual spatial skills for estimating these things, do I? I was going to do a wood veneer arrow, but then I remembered I keep my arrow stickers all together. So I went into those instead and pulled out this puffy black arrow from Freckled Fawn. It's actually like a rubberized puffy sticker, and they do peel off. You have to use extra adhesive to keep those suckers in place. I'm just using my journaling template here to draw some lines because I'm going to do some journaling about our ice storm. So I draw those lines in pencil, and then I will go ahead and journal over top of them. And then I'll also outline where the lines are, which usually keeps me from having to erase any pencil lines. I'm just going to use my Studio Calico roller date stamp, which is my only roller date stamp that goes all the way up to 22, because I bought them all about 10 years ago, so they've all run out. And then I'm using a bit of Tombow Mono Multi adhesive just to stick that rubber arrow down. And it did pop up even though I put extra adhesive on it, so they definitely need extra adhesive. They're very curly. The journaling says, it rained, it snowed, it rained and snowed more. When all was said and done, the world was covered in ice. It was so pretty, but so treacherous. Luckily, we could stay put. Well, we didn't really stay put, but the journaling will explain that we mostly stayed put. because there's other things that that I'm going to be journaling on this same page about that ice storm. So that's enough for here. And looking good so far. And isn't it coming together quickly? This is a long one, but keep in mind this. I think it's going to be 40 minutes altogether, but that includes 3 pages instead of 2 pages. So that's actually pretty good. I just put a stamp block on that arrow just to try to keep it down while the glue dried. Wasn't all that effective, but I guess it usually works, but it just didn't work this time. So now I do want to have a almost entirely dedicated journaling piece here for this photo of us having sushi in the dark. It looks really well lit, and that's because one of my video lights that I keep here in my scrapbook room, it actually has these 2 massive batteries on it. So we were able to use that for the entire time that the power was out. Well, once we thought of it, we didn't think of it right away. I kind of forgot that it had batteries until we had been sitting here in the dark for a while. I'm going to use these beautiful letter stickers from Kelly Purkey. They could be from Allie Edwards, but I think they're from Kelly Purkey. And I like this kind of tone-on-tone look. I picked out the pink letters, and then I realized that I'll be putting them on pink cardstock, and then I thought that's okay. It makes for a nice little tone-on-tone look. My title here is going to say Grocery Store Sushi. Because we couldn't go into the city, we don't have a sushi store where we live. We live like way out in the suburbs. It's about a half an hour drive into the city. And so we don't have our own sushi store out here. And we could not go on the highway. It wasn't safe to drive anywhere, but we had to go up to the plaza anyways because Liv had to work. So we picked up some grocery store sushi and had a little feast. So I'm pulling out these amazing sassafras letter stickers, which I completely adore, and spelling out the word sushi. And I think I'm tidying up, oh yeah, I had to find my eraser to get rid of one of those lines. It turns out I had one too many lines. So my journaling here says, on our second night without power, we got sushi from Sobeys since Scott had to pick up Liv from work anyhow. Ty joined us for candlelit dinner. And you can see the fireplace on in the background. We almost never light our fireplace, but the house was getting quite cold. It was very, very cold outside. So now see that little gap between sushi and my journaling? I do not like that. I need to put something there. So I went into my embellishments looking for something, and I wanted something about the size of what I had there, but it had words on it and it didn't work. So I knew that I have some thin washi tape, so I pulled out all of my thin washi tape that I have. I only have about 4 rolls of it, and this yellow one seemed to suit me well, so that's the one that I picked. I'm going to put this, and then I'm just going to pull out the letters so that they layer over top of that washi tape instead of underneath of it. And there we go. And now it looks fine the way it is, but I'm actually going to write on it. I wish I used a different colored pen to set this writing apart from the journaling, but I didn't think of that. It says, so it says grocery store sushi, ain't that bad in a pinch. So these cards, I specifically did not put any lines on them or any words on them because I wanted to be able to use them for whatever I wanted and not have to search for the perfect card. I wanted cards that worked in almost any circumstance. So since my last time that I complained about not having enough pinked circles, I don't know if that was on a public video or if that was on a Patreon video, but I went and bought myself a big set of pinked circles. I think they call them zigzag circles. I always call them pinked because it looks like they were cut with pinking shears. But anyhow, these are from Pink and Maine, and this is the first time I've ever bought anything from that company, but I really love that their dyes are this really bright color pink. They're really pretty and nice. I wish that all of my dyes were so beautiful and colorful. So I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot, and that will give me, and I just used a piece of paper that I had pre-cut before from the Millie and June collection, the black with little gold dots all over it, and then another circle, an unpinked circle from that mint green cardstock that I had also cut the last time I was scrapbooking. So my initial thought was to put this like in layers on the card that I had designed there with those stripes on it, with the vertical stripes. But when I tried it out, I did not like it at all. Like I immediately didn't like it. So I decided that I would just put this journaling spot right here, and it would cover over some of the less nice looking parts of that photo. That is Sophie crafting in the dark. She, you know what? I have this well-stocked craft room that she could use at any time, and for years she ignores it until the lights go out, and then she decides to come in here with candles amongst all of my paper, and make some cards, which I was very happy that she was making cards. It's just like the timing was not good. I was so nervous about her with candles in my scrap room that that's when I realized that my light had batteries in it, and that changed the next 2 days for us. So anyhow, I did some journaling there. It says, after some candlelit card making, we realized my fill light has a battery. Sophie made some Valentine's and B-Day cards. So I'm just using that journaling template again to just draw out some lines and do some more journaling on this card. On this one, I'm going to, and I always do this off the top of my head, so sometimes it takes me a while to think up what I want to say, but it says, our barbecue broke when it was blown over in the last storm, so outdoor cooking was out. We had takeout and ate snacks for 2 days, but at least we had heat with our fireplace. And I am using my Faber-Castell Pitt pen. I'm using the fine point. It comes in a variety of points. I get them in packs, and the pack has a super fine, fine, medium, and brush point. And I typically use the fine for journaling. I sometimes use the super fine if I want, if I'm doing particularly small journaling. And then the other ones I just use for bolder marks. I usually run out of the fine and super fine first. So now that I'm finished that first page, I forgot to do anything with the Nixie photo. I was planning on doing some lettering or stamping or something on the picture of the cat, but I just moved everything aside and forgot all about that idea. And so that photo will just stay plain, and that's fine. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of space to work with here. I could probably squeeze all of this into one page, but I do not want to be left with the same situation I'm in right now, where I have to scrapbook 3 pages or squeeze everything into one. So I am going to spread out, and these beautiful cards make it easy to do so. And so I also had some ephemera that I had forgotten about, like my driver's license and my to-do list. And so I'm just kind of trying to decide how I'm going to spread all of this around. I'm trying to make sure that I use a lot of the cards that I really love. Like I really adore that floral pattern. So I wanted to make sure that I use that. And just putting a card behind the picture of Samantha, that's my niece. And for now, we'll put the second picture there are 2 pictures of Sophie's room, and we'll put the second one right there. But I'll move things around. I just kind of want to fill everything in, and then I'll move it around later if I need to. So I usually like to start with the thing that I have the most solid idea for. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. Yeah. So first I'm going to just think about what I might want to put on this card with the flowers on it. I feel like it needs something decorative on it because it's fairly busy. So I'm not necessarily going to put a photo or something on there. And it is a kind of like a filler card. I found this XOXO and it fit perfectly between uh, Sam's name and grade and her chin there, and I really liked how it looked, so I decided to put that there. And then I also found this flare badge that says Gut Cat, and I thought that that would be perfect right there beside Chloe looking up. I was trying to take pictures of my last Project Life spread, and she would not stop walking across it. Every time I took a picture, she would walk across it, and I'd have to move it all around again. So I discovered these cork letters. These are from Ali Edwards from some type of kit or something. I don't know what they're from, but I really, really love them. They seem to have a summer theme, but I just pulled out the 3 non-summer words there. And we do have a birthday party that we're celebrating, so that will be relevant. So like I said, I like to start with the things that I have the most solid idea for. So we'll stick down these X's and O's, and also that'll give some time for the glue to dry. I'm using Tombow Mono Multi-Adhesive, which is my favorite adhesive for gluing paper to non-paper items. So we'll do the same with the flare badge. I don't usually use wet glue for flare badges. I usually use either glue dots or pop dots. That is one with a flat back, so I couldn't use a pop dot or it would be out too far from the page. I thought I'd try my hand at distressing this vellum, but it really doesn't distress because it doesn't have fibers the way that paper does, so it just got a little bit ripped, and I do like the look of it, but I needed to make it smaller, and so I decided to just cut that off anyways. Oh, right. It wasn't I needed it smaller. It was crooked. I realized it was crooked. So since I had to trim it down, I thought I'll just trim off that. Now I know how vellum works with a distressor because I don't think I've ever done that before. So I'm just going to use that same Tombow Mono Multi-Adhesive to glue this Celebrate down. And I really like how it naturally moves. I think it's supposed to be straight, but I like how it naturally curves like that. So I'm going to go with it and just put it curved on my page. And now when I glue the vellum to the paper, I'm just putting the glue where the words are, like where the letters are, so that you can't see the glue. I'm using my grid mat to help me line that up with the little squares behind my card. I like how that looks. And then that little place where the RATE goes up, it gives me a couple of little spaces there for me to do a bit of journaling. Not really journaling, but just captioning. It says Adam's birthday celebration, February 12th, 2022. And by celebration, I mean my family went over to Jen and Adam's house. We had pizza and cake and played Jackbox because that's a celebration in 2022. We got out of our pajamas. Hooray! It must be a fancy occasion. And I've been so sick. I am still quite sick, but my voice was giving out on me as I was doing this, but it's back, so I thought I'd narrate this now while I can. So this happy flare badge is one of those concave ones, so I did have to use a pop dot to attach that. And basically all 4 of these cards are all going to be about the birthday party. So I'm back to those pink letter stickers, and I do really like repeating elements on my pages. So I'm just spelling out birthday, and then I'll put the happy there, and then I'll put Adam below the word birthday. So I'm kind of scooching the word birthday up a little bit more from where I originally had it. And really, it could go up even further. When you see how the word Adam is going to land, it should have been up higher, but I didn't want to do it all over again, so I just left it. So there's the happy, and it's just overlapping a little bit with the B, and I like that look. Now, I wanted to have Adam's name be in slightly more substantial letters, so these are Studio Calico letters that came in some Project Life kit sometime along the way, and I'm just spelling out the word Adam, and as you can see, it's sitting right on that line, and maybe even a little bit below the line, so it looks a little bit squished down there, but it almost seems kind of like an interesting design element that the word Adam looks kind of pudgy or something, like almost like the weight of the word birthday is stamping it down a little bit. So I left it. I don't like to be too perfectionistic with my project life because each card is like so much work if you were to make it perfect. And really, when you're looking through it, you're just kind of scanning through the cards anyways. So I just added the word play up there above the photo of the TV screen from the Jackbox that we were playing. And I'm just going to put a couple of journaling lines in the center part of this card. And the journaling here is going to say, we picked up Liv from work and headed to Jen and Adam's to celebrate his birthday. And I did matte that photo with the cake, and then Jen is off in the background. I matted it on pink so that it's kind of cut off at the top and the bottom, so the matting basically looks like stripes on the sides of it. I quite like that look. I'm going to use that same roller date stamp to put the date, February 12th, 2022. And I'm glad I checked it because it still had ink on it from before, and I'm actually not stamping the stars this time, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't get stars all over my journaling. So there we go. We did not get a picture of Adam on his own birthday. I'm not sure why we didn't. But anyhow, there's a picture of the cake and a picture of Jen. I'm going to turn that card upside down so that the journaling kind of goes with the picture of Sam. And I'm just going to write a few things about Sam at age 11. So it says at age 11, although it kind of looks like I'm saying a gal, but it says at age 11, Sam loves cooking, crafts, and Pokemon. She is growing into a lovely young lady. And then I'll just underline that and pop it in the pocket right next door. So I'm going to put that up in the top corner so that it's out of my way a little bit, and then just getting rid of some of the scraps and stuff. This is a piece of note paper that I just bought a pad of these weekly note papers that have these cute little plants. I colored them in because I was on a phone call I was on hold forever. But they're just like black and white, and it just gives you a place to keep a running list and not have to worry about carrying around a big agenda or notebook. I quite like it. I've been using them lately, and they're quite helpful. So I just thought I'd stick my agenda, like my little notebook, my little to-do list, in a pocket. Now I was going to glue my license down, but I decided that there might come a time when I might want to see what it looked like behind, so I decided to use a large paper clip instead. It's a turquoise one, so it picks up on some of the colors in the collection that I'm scrapbooking with. And then the journaling here says, what does it say? It says license renewed, and then I just put a box and a check mark beside it because that's my old license. Now here, I think I'm going to do it this way, but I'm wrong. So I like the idea of the cover of the donut box being on the outside, and then you flip it to see what's inside of the box. But you know what? That picture of the donuts is much nicer, much more compelling. It has more energy. Like, what I really like about this picture is I like the artwork on the box, right? So here I am thinking that this is going to be on the outside, and it's actually not. So I'm just layering some labels. Most of those are Ali Edwards labels from various Stories by the Month kits. A few Kelly Purkey label sets in there too. And the journaling on this says, Vandal donuts are always a treat. And it says Vandal on the side of the box there. And because they're kind of like well known around here on social media and stuff, I just grabbed one of those Kelly Purkey technology stickers, and it just has like 5 hearts on it. And then on this photo, there's a missing donut, and it was Noah's. So I thought I would put a little heart-shaped sticker there, and then I'm going to write Noah's donut on it, and then I'll outline it. These stickers are from Studio Calico from an old kit. And then I'll outline it. And then I will do some journaling that kind of explains what that means, only it looks like it's going to be under the flap, but it's actually going to be on the outside. So this is the photo that you're going to see when you look at the spread. So towards the end, when I show the photos, that's when you'll see how this actually ends up looking. So I did put one of my own cards on the back side of that flip the flap, and I wanted to do some journaling on it, but I also really wanted to use this nom nom stamp. It says nom nom nom, and it's a little square, and I thought it would be perfect to stamp it right on top of that lemon square donut. I love the idea of a square donut, so I kind of wanted to emphasize that there was a square donut among these. So watch this. See what I almost did there? I noticed that the stamp did not actually stick to my MISTI. So I tried again, and of course, when I pressed harder to have it stick, it stuck to the photo, but that's okay. I'm using Lawn Fawn Gray ink here. I think it's Narwhal that I'm using, and I did have to stamp it twice. I didn't want to risk stamping it 3 times because I just wasn't sure. I'm never sure. I know that if you put it really butt into that corner properly, it should in theory line up, but I just never trust it. So I wanted to do some journaling here just to further explain this story, but I didn't know what to do. So I've had these washi strips from Studio Calico in my scrap stash for a long time. And I always think, oh, that's a good idea. And then I never use them. So here I am using them. I just put 3 and I'm eventually going to put 4. They're quite slick. They've got almost like a waxy surface. I did put them on the outside of the pocket, so they're just adhered to the plastic. They're quite sticky, so I think they're going to stay put. In my journaling here, I'm just using my Mono Twin, my Tombow Mono Twin pen, which is a good slick surface writer. It just says, when they were in the city, Liv and Scott picked up Vandal donuts and dropped into Noah's and surprised him with a treat. I did have to add a 4th line there just to be able to include that whole story. And there we go. Now, this relax, it had a little thread on it, so I just wanted to cut that off. This relax, I wanted to kind of make this be like a filler card / title or something. And again, I do add something to this card off screen, so check out the video, like the photos at the very end will show that I added a sticker from the Ali Edwards Stories by the Month kit from January of 2021. And I'll point that out when I show you the photos. So I am doing some cursive writing here, which I don't normally do. I don't love my own cursive handwriting, but I find that if I write it slowly in pencil first and then just go over it in the pen, it's not too bad. I just kind of take my time. And I even out the letters as I go. Like, part of the problem with my handwriting is that I don't have evenly sized letters with my natural handwriting. So I write it in pencil and it's all different sizes. But then when I go over it with the pen, I can fix it up and make the M taller than it was when I wrote it with the pencil. So it all kind of evens out. And then when I erase those pencil lines, I'm using very, very, very light touch. I'm basically just using the weight of the eraser to erase that. I don't want to pull up the fibers of the card, especially not where this is a homemade printed card. It didn't go to the print shop. It's just on my crappy printer from the office downstairs. So again, using that Tombow Mono Multi adhesive, and this time I want relax to be straight, so I just used my T ruler there to do that. It says relax amid the chaos of the 2022 world, and then I did put a dark chipboard sticker underneath of it that you can look for at the end. It says 365 days, 365 new chances to relax, right? There's always going to be something crazy and weird happening in the world. And, you can, every day is a new chance to ignore all of that. I do not like this card, this February 14th with the heart card. That was my least favorite card as I was designing them. I felt like I should have done something different with that card, but anyhow, it is what it is. And I will go back and change it, but I still won't like it even after I change it. But that's okay. You don't have to love everything. Part of the problem here is I'm kind of just filling pockets, right? I've got more pockets than I have things to put in them, so that's a bit of a problem. This is one of those times, one of those pre-printed cards that I've been saying I don't like so much would have come in handy. You know, one of Ali Edwards' sayings or something. That would have been nice there. So I just added that second photo of Sophie's bedroom there, the small one, and I journaled underneath saying, "No bed yet, Sophie can't decide what kind she wants." So I'm documenting through my project life. There will be several photos of her room as it changes. We're doing it kind of slowly. And then in the card right next to it, I decided to put these matching cards, but have the strips dripping down one way and going up the other way, just for a little bit of energy on the page. Here I'm journaling, we've been slowly redecorating Sophie's room. It's so reflective of her. And then I put that little mustard colored heart there, even though it doesn't really match with the color scheme of the photos or of the cards. It's kind of to bring out, it's to tie in with the cork, which has that orangey look to it. And then the larger photo of Sophie's room shows not only her bookshelf, which she spent a lot of time styling, but also in the mirror you can see what's behind over beyond the bookshelf. And so I thought that was a cool angle, because it showed not only what was on her bookshelf and on her wall, but it also showed what was on the opposite wall. Here I am deciding to change this. I'm just going to call it February 14th, even though it's not even February. Today is February 14th, but you know, February 14th falls in February, so we might as well get it in the book, right? I really liked that February tone on tone. I liked that idea. It's the rest of it that I don't quite like. I don't like the stripes. I don't like the heart. I don't like the 1 and the 4, but that's about it. I do like the stripes. I just don't like the stripes together with that heart. So we're all done, and except for those changes that you'll see in the photos at the end. Before I show you those photos, I just want to give a little shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to everybody listed here. You all help make this possible for me to continue to make these videos. Here is the first half, that first half page, and some of the close-ups of it. I don't think I changed anything here. This is all as it played out in the video. I love that little rubber arrow. It's so cute. And that photo my husband took of the ice storm is so beautiful. So as you can see, I switched it so that the donuts are on the outside now. And I do quite like that. And then there's that extra chipboard sticker that says 365 days. I like that. It just kind of tops up that card and makes it look finished off. These cards were really fun to work with. I might be biased, but I really like them. And I'm proud of them because I didn't know I could design. Here is that flip the flap pocket. So that's what it looks like underneath. Yeah, that box is just too bright pink for the rest of the page. I'm glad that I put it underneath. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, please feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.